Alright, what's up YouTube? Back at you with the next build series video on this CR. Today's mission is to take all of the parts, pretty much 80% of the parts, and clean them up by hand, get all these dirt and grimy parts. If my camera would focus here, clean those up, get them all shined up before we get them vapor honed in the next, whenever I get around to that. There's some things I cannot actually do, like obviously with all the braking stuff, it's gonna be too hard to kind of get it down in here along with the radiators. It's kind of impossible to clean some of these and around tight corners. It is possible, I guess, but it's just very hard. Go through, clean up all the parts, show you before and after. This is kind of to show you what you can do if you're not able to get somebody to vapor hone the parts, and what you can do by hand. So basically all it is on a wheel and one of these Scotch-Brite pads, which I'll leave linked down below to Cameron's website so you can buy one for yourself. But this is really the trick to making the parts look new, which you will see very shortly, the before and after. If you guys are new and this is the first video you're watching, make sure you're subscribed if you want to see the CR125 turn in and look like a 2019. If you don't follow the Instagram account for the build where I post pictures before the vlogs come out, it's just at Project 2Stroke, so give that a follow. And without further ado, I'm gonna quit talking. We're gonna jump straight into the time lapse and stuff and cleaning up some of these parts. All right, so here's a little before look on all the parts before we get it done on the wheel. Some of the parts. So as you can see, if my camera would focus, here's kind of the difference from the polish for about 2 minutes, and then here is obviously no work done to it. If the camera really does it any justice, you might be able to see it right there, but that's only 2 minutes of work on there. It's not too bad. Alright, so obviously, as you can tell from the time lapses here, whatever you spend the most time on to really get it super shiny like the kickstart here, it takes a decent amount of time to really take your time, go through it all, make sure there's no dull spots. Like if you compare it to the brackets here, kinda, like they're shiny, don't get me wrong, but once I go back and take more time on it, you can really get these dull areas out and really make it really shiny. And then if you really want to go over it, obviously you can get some aluminum polish and go over it a couple more times to really make it like a super mirror finish. I don't personally really like the mirror finish. This is kind of what I'm going for. It's shiny, but it's not too shiny. It's a little bit brighter than stock if I compare it to the 125 here, which has been vapor honed and everything and ridden for the past year, which is still looking really good over the past year. But comparing it to that, it's pretty similar, pretty close. And then if you compare it to whatever new is considered on a brand new bike, obviously it's a lot shinier than that, as you can see on the 250 here. So there's a little comparison. Like I said, if you take your time like anything, it's gonna come out better. Stuff like the brake and getting in these tight little areas down in here, it's basically impossible. It just tears up the wheel even more, getting it on the edges of stuff. And for the flat surfaces, it's fine, but once you get like a really pointed or sharp edge, like I said, it's just gonna tear up that wheel. It's gonna chew through it a lot faster and wear out the life. So if you're buying these, I'd probably recommend buying 2 or 3 just so you have them, because you're definitely gonna go through one wheel if you're doing a bunch of parts. So for what it is, it does a really, really good job at bringing these parts back to life, that's for sure. And I'd recommend wearing some protective eyewear, because stuff does fling off this wheel and you really don't want that going in your eyes. Better safe than sorry. That's all I gotta say. I know with this linkage here, there's no way I'm actually going to get all down in here. I'm really just trying to do this to kind of showcase the potential, like I said, of doing this. So the vapor hone is really what's gonna make these parts shine. If you guys haven't seen it, you will very soon. But for the people that know, you really understand how much better the vapor honing is really gonna make this. And you could spend probably easily 30 minutes to an hour just on the linkage here, for sure, to make it fully spotless, shining, and that's just. But I'll do a little bit here, trying to show kind of what you could do with it. So of course, if you got a little small Dremel tool, you can get down in here and stuff, but there's no way to actually get this down in the crevice. So, but just this, you can pretty much do a lot of the parts and make them look better than what they were, that's for sure. Definitely. Like even, look right here, just a few seconds, and it already makes it looking pretty good. So, there's a little example on the linkage. I'm not even gonna bother doing the whole thing. Now, as far as the other part of the linkage, we can definitely do some of that here. At least the outsides, because this thing's pretty bad and dirty and grimy compared to the majority of the parts. Really dull, kind of got all this stuff worn in over the years. Just one pass from that, right here. Just one pass and it already has taken off like a lot of that. Years and years of just build up. So for a few bucks, it's really a no-brainer to even just have this in your shop, just in case you want to use it, honestly. For what, 10 bucks or 20 bucks, you can have a bunch of these pads and just have them ready to go. Because for a quick little shine-up job, and even on the pipes and anything like that, this thing really takes off a lot of this crap. Sure, there's other stuff you can use. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff in the comments of different things that people have used, but this honestly is the quickest, easiest, most effective way by far, I believe. Unless somebody has a way better way, let me know. But Cameron has done his research, because I'm sure a lot of people that are watching these build series videos are inspired or want to build bikes or are currently building a bike or anything like that. So any tips along the way help, and if any of you have any tips for me or different ways you build bikes or different products you might use, definitely let me know in the comments on some of the stuff that you guys have learned or done over the years, and anything that can really help me make my bikes better or other people's bikes better if they go and read the comments, or if I talk about it in future videos. But especially these kinds of videos where it kind of time lapse all the dirt coming off is kind of therapeutic, where you see it. You know what I'm trying to say if you understand. But I know when I watch like Cameron's videos or other people's build videos and just seeing like step by step and like all the dirt coming off, it's just kind of a cool process, I think. Plus doing this kind of makes it easier to vapor hone, I would imagine. Getting all this, kind of prepping it to vapor hone, if you could say. Getting all the majority of the dirt off, and then that vapor hone is just gonna go in there and shine it up and make it even better and smooth out all the brush marks and any imperfections that were really on there previously. It's not gonna take off any ridges. This can, like, say you didn't want this casting mark right here, you can even see that. If you spend enough time, you can really get that casting mark out and have this all smooth. That's what vapor honing can do. Vapor honing doesn't really take off. I'll explain all the vapor honing stuff in the vapor honing video. I've said vapor honing probably 20 times now, but yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. Like I always say, if you guys have any builds that you guys are doing right now currently, send me some pictures on Instagram. If you don't already follow me, it's just at Tyler Monagan. I like going through my messages and seeing different builds that people are currently doing and their process along the way of their like kind of before and after look, which I think is always cool. So this thing alone, with a little time, if you compare this side to this side, this is just a light kind of once over. This obviously is like 5 minutes worth of work. You can really see the difference there. Definitely is a lot better. Taking a lot of time and effort, you can make something look good. Obviously, I know I'm gonna have some comments with the axles here going over it. They're gonna rust. Basically, it's just gonna cause a little more maintenance, I guess. Take it out, make sure it's greased all the time. I have to do this a couple times, but it's really better just to get a fresh kind of start. A lot cheaper, because buying new axles and stuff from these old bikes gets very expensive. Could zinc plate it, but I don't know if I want to do that yet. Got this axle over here to go through. So with these axles, sure, I could take all the time and get them down to make them really shiny. I don't really see it really matters in the scheme of things. It does, but it doesn't. And this will be a lot easier just to blast, honestly. For the most part, some of these just got a little once over just to demonstrate kind of the process. This axle got a little more time than all of them, the rear axle. But I think I spent the most time on the brake and the kickstart here to really show you the potential of what this thing can do. This thing came out really, really good. As you can see, it's really shiny, almost to that mirror finish, but not quite there. I bet if I took a little bit of aluminum polish and really clean it all up. But the main benefit, you do it, obviously the shinier, and you won't really see the kind of brush marks from the wheel the longer you go. There are a little bit, but for the most part, if I get really close to this, can't even notice it, and it's super, super shiny from where it was before. Like I said, don't have access or want to pay somebody to do the vapor honing, this is your best bet. But it has really good potential, and if you want to do stuff at home by yourself on a budget, it's by far probably the most important thing when it comes to a bike build, in my opinion, along with the mag wheel cleaner, along with a good pressure washer. And that's about it, really. With those three things, you can pretty much make a bike look like 10 times better from if you're buying it used or just have it, it's old over time and want to freshen it up. And Simple Green too, I forgot to add that in there. Simple Green, mag wheel cleaner, these pads, normal SOS pads, a power washer. Boom. 5 things, 5 key things to keep your bike, one, maintained, or make it look new again. If you're gonna buy one thing, definitely those. Like I said, the best transformation is gonna be this pipe over here coming soon. Can't wait to see how this thing's gonna turn out when this is all freshened up. I'm gonna bother with this swing arm. It's gonna be too hard. This will fit in the cabinet, so I'm trying to look around for some other little parts I could possibly do. Maybe the radiator cap, take that sticker off. Bar clamps, just simple little things. Like I said, the hard thing is getting around these edges, so if you see on here, it's gonna just nick up the pad and you're really not gonna be able to get in the little crevices here, so that's the one downfall. But for mainly like flat surfaces, a couple like more rounded surfaces, nothing with a sharp edge, you can really get around and do. I could get the shock out and take the spring off and do it that way and shine all this up. But especially down all in here. Skid plate would be a really easy one too. I'm not gonna run it, so I'm not gonna bother, but any really flat surfaces to really just kind of go back and forth. Actually, it might be kind of hard to do with my specific one, but if you have one maybe that has a longer rod that comes out and you can really get around kind of the angles, it might be more beneficial to having one really small that's really close up to it, because that's kind of, even with any of these parts, it makes it a little difficult. You kind of got to go from different angles. So say if you want to get down in here, but you can't really get on the back side as good, so once you flip it around, you can kind of get down in the crevice better, if that made any sense. But I didn't shop around too much to really find one. I'm sure you can get a better one out there. This is just a little cheap one from Lowe's, but it definitely does the job for what I need it to do. All right, so I know this was kind of a shorter little video, just kind of going over what you can do, but I don't feel this video needs to be super, super long and me really rant on any more on the potential of this and what you can do with it. So if you guys enjoyed this video and it helped you, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. If you guys, like I said, don't follow the Instagram account dedicated for the build, it's just at Project 2 Strokes. And yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments what you think, any tips or tricks or parts you think I should put on it. And off of that, I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video.